weather's end.
All right, let's get her going then. It's now 7 o'clock. The date is March 17th, 2021. We welcome you to the Standard City Planning Commission meeting. We need to read the notice of electronic meeting first to get started. In accordance with resolution number 2020-07-20R, it has been determined that conducting meetings of the Planning Commission with an anchor location such as city council chambers presents a substantial risk to the health and safety of those who may be present there. The following are facts upon which this determination has been made. Utah has been in a declared state of emergency due to COVID-19 since March 6, 2020. A virus outbreak that has been recognized by the World Health Organization, federal, state, and local leaders as a pandemic. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, has stated that COVID-19 is easily spread from person to person between people who are in close contact with one another through respiratory droplets when an infected person coughs, sneezes, or talks. This virus can also be spread by people who are non-sympathetic. As reported by the Utah Department of Health, COVID-19 cases in Utah County continue to rise at a higher rate than reported rates for the state. Federal, state, and local authorities recommend that individuals at public gatherings wear face masks and follow social distancing guidelines. It is difficult to anticipate the number of attendees at any meeting in order to maintain social distancing to comply with state-phased guidelines. Further, regardless of the number of attendees, social distancing measures for Planning Commission staff and attendees will be difficult to maintain in the city council chambers. COVID-19 continues to pose an immediate threat to the health, safety, and welfare of American Fork City citizens. American Fork City can provide a way for the public to hear or hear and view open portions of the Planning Commission meeting and to provide a way to participate in public hearings. For the next 30 days, all Planning Commission meetings will be conducted via electronic meetings. The meetings are broadcast, live streamed, and available at a later time at americanfork.gov/agenda center. To make a public comment, email comments to Zoom public comments at afcity.net prior to 5 p.m. on the day of the meeting for the comments to be read into record. Please indicate in the subject line which items your comments refer to. Having that out of the way, we'll go ahead and start with the agenda. The first one is a hearing, review, and action on a zone map amendment for property located at 400 South and 600 East from the GC2 Planned Community Zone to the PC Planned Commercial Zone. Adam, would you lead us in this one, please?
Yes, so they're asking for the PC zone, which is the planned community. This is the property just directly east of DI, so it's behind that building. It's currently vacant. It's been vacant for a number of years. There are some things on the property just scattered about. The applicant would like to change the zone on this to the PC zone, and if it's approved, would then come forward with a site plan for an apartment structure on the property. So it's fairly straightforward application request. There's multifamily to the east and south, obviously commercial to the west with DI. It would front along 600 East, and I can answer any questions, but planning would recommend approval.
Any questions or comments, concerns for planning from the commission? Hearing none. Engineering, any comments on this project, please?
So at this particular project, we didn't have any major concerns or anything that way. There is some additional right-of-way that will be dedicated on 400 South to meet the right-of-way requirements per the master plans, and we would recommend approval.
All right, thank you. Any questions from the commission to the engineering department at this time?
I have one question.
Go ahead.
As far as just mitigating the effects of, neighboring a business, I see on the satellite there are a row of trees along that fence line, and I'm not sure what condition the trees are in, but from the bird's view, there are trees there, and I just wonder or maybe suggest maybe leaving those up so that the residents kind of have a block from the trucks and things on the other side.
Those are DI's trees.
Oh, they are?
Yep, I can see that. I'm just looking at an aerial right now. I was like, I went out there and I don't remember seeing them, but again, there's no leaves right now, but I can see them on the aerial that you're referring to.
Well, perfect.
Can we
then.
pull up the aerial?
That's fine. You don't have to.
No, I'm asking to pull it up. Just because I've been back there so many times, I just want to see it.
If you use Google Maps, you can actually just go down to this pedestrian view and you can see it's all in the landscape inside the DI property line.
Yeah.
Great. That will be great. Yeah.
Yeah, they already have a visual screen.
Perfect.
All right, any other questions or concerns, either planning or engineering from the commission? All right, is the applicant here for this one?
Yes, I'm here.
Would you please state your name for the record and tell us about your project, please?
Yeah, do you need an address also, or just the name?
Just the name and what you've got planned, sir.
Okay, Adam Langford with Wasatch Residential Group. As I just mentioned, my name is also Adam. When you asked Adam to lead the discussion, I about had a heart attack because I wasn't quite ready.
You could
I
have
didn't
done
even
it
think of that.
probably.
Yeah, and then Adam Olson luckily jumped in. And I was getting really nervous there for a minute. Yeah, actually, Vandalyn had a couple slides I just wanted to go through real quick, just super quick. This is the building and how that layout might look if the zone change happens. And then if you scroll down to the next one, so the building kind of wraps around a courtyard. So there'll be an outdoor courtyard fire pit area. And then the last slide there is, so this would become part of the park on Fifth. So this is the community that we've built already. So that building would become a part of this project, which we're really proud of. We think it's done great, and we think it's a great addition. So that's all. I'm happy to answer any questions that there might be.
All right, any questions for Adam Langford at this point?
Yeah.
Apparently there's no questions, sir. So thank you very much for your time. And this is family ground. I mean, this was part of my wife's grandfather's old farm back around the turn of the century. So, or the 19th century, not 20th century, I should say 1900. So I'm very familiar with the ground. You picked on a very good part of town to build your project. Any other concerns for the applicant? All right, this does require I open the meeting for a public hearing. Have we had any comments sent in for public comments, Adam?
No, not for this one.
All right, then we'll go ahead and close the public hearing if we have no comments. I'm in need of a motion on this project for zone map amendment, please.
Your chair, this is Ryan.
All right,
I move that we recommend approval of the zone map amendment, subject to any conditions listed in the engineering report.
thank you. I have a motion from Ryan. Do I have a second?
Second, Chris.
Chris, seconds. All right, thank you. Any further discussion on this item? If not, we'll take a roll call vote. Rod?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Ryan?
Aye.
Harold?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye also. It's unanimous, 7-0.
Did you forget Christine?
Christine.
I vote aye.
Okay, still unanimous. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Thank
The
you.
mayor suggested we change up the routine of the voting so that we don't get in the habit of everybody thinks because the first one votes yea or nay, the rest of them go the same way. So
I like
under his
that.
direction, we kind of mess with the order of the vote. It still passed 7-0. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Adam number 2. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You bet, you too. Next on the agenda, hearing, review, and action on a zone map amendment located at approximately 120 North West State Road from the R3 7500 residential zone to the GC2 planned commercial zone. Adam, lead us in this one, please, if you would.
Yes, thank you. This, as you stated, it's about 120 Northwest State Road. It's just north of the Peruvian restaurant where we had our planning commission dinner last year, and just south of a south of a credit union. It was originally part of the Seven Seas Mobile Home Park. But for all intents and purposes, it's separated from that. It's cut off. You can't access it because there's a fence. We kind of look at it as vacant property. There's a coffee shop that would like to locate here. You'll see a site plan for that in the future if the zone change is approved, but we've been reviewing that for a Dutch Bros. But they do need to have a zone change on the property. We recommend the GC2 zone. It's a planned commercial zone, and so it's more of a design zone. It's not as liberal as the GC1, but the proposed use would fit in well in that zone. And so we'd recommend approval of that.
All right, thank you. Any questions or concerns for planning from the commission? If not, engineering, any comments on this project, please?
No, this one where it fronts along the existing State Street, UDOT Road, and then the access, like what Adam had described, that access is just a access for the credit union to the north there. It is an emergency access for emergency personnel only from the mobile home park, but there generally isn't, much traffic or anything that way. So there isn't any additional public infrastructure or anything that way that we needed to, it's already in place. So we would recommend approval.
All right, thank you. Any questions or concerns for engineering on this one?
So Joe, just to make sure I understand correctly, the access to this property will be off the side street, not from State Street.
Correct.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Similar to the credit union across the street, that's where I happened to bank, and I was down there today, and I noticed this is a very small piece of property. It's a drive-through only, so there's not going to be a lot of room. I'm anxious to see how they put it together on the site plan. Any other comments or concerns? Is the applicant here for this one? Adam, are you aware of the
Yes,
applicants here?
yes, you have both Civil Engineering Group, Barghausen, and Genick Architectural Group here as well.
All right. State your name for the record clearly, and let's hear what you say about your project, please.
My name is Dustin Henyon. I'm with Genick Architectural Studio. I'm going to let Nick Wecker with Barghausen go ahead and give the rundown on the project as he's been working with your planning department.
Yeah, hi everyone. Sorry, it took me a minute to get unmuted here, but my name is Nick Wecker. I'm a senior planner with Barghausen, and we do have a site plan review application that you'll hear a lot more about our project, probably the next planning commission hearing. But to kind of go over an overview of what we're doing here is our site's about 200 feet wide along State Street and along West 120th North, and then about 140 feet along State Street. So like it was mentioned, it's a fairly tight site, but it's a great site for Dutch Bros that only has an 865 square foot building that will fit nicely on this site. There's no dine-in service or anything like that. It's a coffee stand that's just strictly a drive-through. The drive-through will be accessed all the way on the east side of the site, and then we'll exit out onto 120th North directly on the west side. We are looking to rezone it to GC2 because it allows for more flexibility in terms of setbacks. Our building is going to be within about setback about 20 feet from State Street. And so given the tight parameters of the site, it helps to have GC2 zone where we can have more flexibility in the zoning standards that would apply to this small site. So we'll have about 6 parking stalls, but like I said, there's no dine-in service or anything on site. It'll just be a drive-through only. It's double drive-through, accommodate up to 20 vehicles on the site with over 400 feet of stacking. So a ton of stacking will be proposed, and we think it's a great site for our use, and we're looking to move forward quickly and hoping to receive your approval recommendation tonight for the rezone.
All right, thank you. I know I personally am looking forward to the site plan. I'm kind of interested in how you use up such a little spot for strictly drive-through. It's going to be interesting to see how you do it. Thank you much. Any questions for the applicant? Hearing
So
none?
Sorry, John.
Go ahead.
Mr. Commissioner, I have just a quick question. So the entry on the site plan from what you're describing, the entry point is on the east side and the exit point is on the west side. So it's a one-way operation essentially, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
All right, any other questions for the applicant? If not, this requires a public hearing. Adam, well, let's go ahead and open the meeting. Has there been any applicant or anybody put in for a public comment on this one either?
No, we did not receive any comment on this one.
All right, therefore we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. I'm in need of a motion on this project, please, from someone.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we recommend approval of the zone map amendment subject to any conditions listed in the engineering report.
All right, thank you. I have a motion from Jeff. Do I have a second?
Second, Harold.
Harold, all right, thank you. Any further comments on this one? If not, we'll take a roll call vote. Christine?
Aye.
Rod?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Ryan?
Aye.
Harold?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye also, 7-0. Thank you. All right, thank you, applicant. We appreciate your input. Moving on,
Thank
other
you very
business.
much.
Adam, do you have any other business we need to be aware of?
I was just going to bring up, but we kind of discussed it before the meeting, but as soon as the city council starts their regular meetings, we'll follow suit. The mayor would like to shoot for the first meeting after April 10th, when that mandate is lifted with the state. But again, it really just depends on where the numbers go. So he's hoping for it, and we'll see. We'll just follow suit with whatever they do.
And our first meeting in April is April 7th. So we'll be just a little ahead of that deadline then for this.
Yeah, so that one will still be through Zoom.
All right.
From what I understand though, with Adam, correct me if I'm not understanding it correctly, but with the mask mandate being rescinded or planning to be rescinded on the 10th of April, it still leaves the local health departments, they can still keep that, so if Utah County wants to keep the mask mandate in place, they can. All this does is it removes the statewide requirement, but it does not eliminate any local health departments from instituting a local mandate.
That's correct. And even if we did meet in person, it may be likely that we would still have them as we're up in that room. But again, that's just tentative. The mayor's, he's thrown that out there as something he'd like to do. But as I get more information, I'll pass that along as well. And
I just want to make that
how we go
clarification.
about doing that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just plan on electronic until we hear differently. Let's just say that. Anybody else have any other business they'd like to bring forward?
I do. I don't want to belabor because I know we're close, but I'm noticing more and more traffic there at In-N-Out Burger getting into Main Street. I'm really concerned about the safety. I know they have moved they're snaking people through. But I am concerned from a safety standpoint how that current configuration is set up within for the in and out drive through. Is there anything that we can do as a city? I would just hate to see someone just waiting to get some food get slammed and because they're stuck on Main Street trying to get through the intersection to go through the drive through. I've seen some near misses, but I just want to, from an engineering and planning standpoint, I really think we need to take a serious look at that.
Well, Jeff, do you know anything about the left turn lane going in there to the north that goes up towards Office Depot? There was talk at one time about putting a double left turn in there to go north. Is that still, the state still considering that?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. That makes a mess because it backs up to the overpass on Pioneer Crossing sometimes, waiting to make a left-hand turn to go into northbound there by Home Depot or by Office Depot.
Well, and if that left turn, if they wind up going double left, because you've got to have enough receiving lane on that north there on Kawakami Drive. So if there's enough room to do that, then in the future that could happen. But I think we'd also have to widen to the south a little bit too, which would then further exacerbate this problem.
Yeah, that whole intersection is kind of a disaster waiting to happen. It looks like a certain time of the day, it's a place to stay away from.
Yeah.
So there has been a recent site plan submittal to put a structure, not a restaurant structure, but on that vacant piece that UDOT, I think up till now, still owns. And I believe as part of that site plan, they wanted to reconfigure the drive-through for in and out. At least that's what they had told me, but I haven't looked at the site plan in depth. But that's something that will be coming forward to you at a future date.
Yeah, they have reconfigured that. It's going to be a lot longer drive-through.
Well, it
So
seems
it's
like
going
the most logical solution is to use that vacant property to provide more stacking and more storage.
Yeah, they've got quite the idea of how they want to accommodate that, and it is quite a circuitous line, but it will accommodate much more traffic than what's currently there.
Yeah, it's basically they're putting a building on the currently vacant piece of land. Then there'll be some parking, and you could say along the property line there'll be an extension of the drive-through for In-N-Out Burger that will then end up in the parking lot. So it's going to add a lot more stacking.
Sounds like it's under consideration, at least by someone's looking at it. That's a step in the right direction, it sounds like. Adam, just out of curiosity, you're on First East where the Presbyterian Church is. They tore the old house down just south of the church. Do you know what's anticipated with that piece of property?
We're looking at a site plan for some townhome units there.
Oh, okay. I just drove by there the other day and all of a sudden that old house is gone. It's just bare now.
Yeah, there's some hurdles that they have to go through, but if all goes well and it ends up going through the technical review process, then you'll see that as well.
Wow, okay, interesting. Okay, any
So
other?
will that have commercial on the ground floor or 25% commercial or?
No, because it's not in the TOD and it's not on Main Street. So it's just strictly a few units. I want to say somewhere between 12 or 15 on there.
I think it was 14 units, if I remember right.
There's enough space for that many parking in that little piece of ground, huh? Interesting.
I have a question back to the stacking for drive-throughs. And this could be just a COVID era issue, and I'm curious what you all think. But it seems like there are several areas in, several restaurants where the drive-through isn't sufficient and it's backing up onto streets. And I wonder if that's something we need to look at revising the minimum length for drive-throughs.
Right now, I believe it's 20 cars, and I do think it's a function of COVID because I believe as dining areas reopen, the pressure will be off. It's interesting because just right before COVID happened, I was following stories of places that were basically doing away with drive-throughs. So it's interesting how things change so fast.
Yeah.
But in our code, I believe we do, I mean, the minimum is 20 spaces, and sometimes they can double stack those and have 10 in each. But yeah, it's definitely been exacerbated with all of COVID.
Yeah, I wonder how long it will stay, or if it will kind of be a permanent change that people prefer drive-through. Yeah, 20 spaces seems like sufficient.
Well,
Until
that,
there's, yeah.
yeah, but that in and out is so popular because it's right off the freeway. It's in and out. No pun intended.
Yeah.
That drive-through has been a problem since before COVID started, and it's been further. The situation has become even worse.
Yeah.
There's that location as well as the Quick Quack, which I've seen it back all the way up to. They wind up at times blocking the entrance there by Certified Tire, all the way over to Pacific Drive.
I think just COVID in general, the wife and I have tried to go out to dinner the last couple of weekends, and almost every restaurant in town's got an hour to an hour and a half waiting period to get into. It's like people are just sick and tired of being inside the house all the time. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all comes out in the wash. All right, site plan. Go ahead.
Is there any update on Second South improvements in the engineering of that roadway? Also, is there any update on the water situation on the south also?
So I know that the 2 of the 4 water projects had gone out to bid. I know for sure one of them has been awarded, and they've started some work for the segment from basically I-15 on 200 South heading to the west and whatnot. So that's under construction. The other one, I don't remember if it has been formally awarded or not, but I know that the second phase had gone out, and I don't remember which section it was, but then the other 2 phases were in design. They were finalizing the design on that so that can go out to bid. So as far as the design of the waterline projects, the rest of the design for the other phases should wrap up this year. And then I would expect those to go out to bid, and you'd probably be seeing that under construction as well. As far as the roadway design on 200 South, I know that there's been, so we've received 90% submittal drawings from the consultant that's been doing the design work on that. So that's currently with us for review and things of that nature. I don't know. I can't speak as far as funding or CRA. I've heard that maybe they're looking at options that way, but I don't know where that's at as far as anything that way. But I do know that as far as the actual design work and stuff, and they actually pulled out the waterline design from the rest of the 200 South design so that we could get the waterline constructed now and stuff. So that's a little bit of an update there.
Right.
Thank you.
Oh, just to give you a little update, I did, this is Rebecca Andrus. I did talk to David and stuff today. We are looking at moving forward with the CRA. As far as I know, it's actually, the RDA is meeting to talk about it potentially on the 23rd, so the next council meeting. And then we're looking at trying to finish the plans, finalize all the review comments, and have the plans completed by like May, I believe, so that they're ready to bid. I'm not sure how that's all going to go.
Hello, Rebecca Andrus. I know you.
Hello, Rod. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
All right, thank you. Anybody else have any comments for other business? If not, we'll move on to site plan committee report. Vindlene, how's that looking?
We are going to have most likely a longer meeting at the beginning of April. There are several subdivisions coming up, a dental office, probably a zone change. Since we have 3 weeks to the next meeting, the agenda isn't about to be published yet. That's going to happen next week. And so there are some projects that may still come along and some that maybe turn out to not quite be ready yet, but be prepared for a somewhat longer meeting.
All right, thank you. Down to review and action on the minutes of the March 3rd, 2021 Planning Commission meeting regular session. Do we have any comments or concerns about the minutes?
No, just Lisa makes me sound really smart when I read the minutes. I'm like, wow, I can't believe I said it that way.
That's what I
Thank you.
said. I mean, I told her the same thing. She does great.
All right.
So,
Oh, you all sound smart all the time. Hello.
Could work on mine a little bit. That would be great.
You know, like I've always said, we got the best staff there is, that's for sure. Every one of them is worth their weight in gold. All right, let's take a vote. I need a motion on the minutes then from someone, please.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes of the March 3rd Planning Commission regular session.
All right, thank you. I have a motion from Christine. Do I have a second?
Second,
Second, Chris.
Chris for a second. All right, thank you. Have a motion and a second. Any further comments on the minutes? If not, we'll start with a vote. Chris?
Aye.
Ryan?
Aye.
Harold?
Aye.
Jeff?
aye.
Christine?
Aye.
Pardon?
Aye.
All right. Rod?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye also. It's 7-0 unanimous. Thank you. We're down to the big one, everyone. Motion for adjournment.
Does Ryan move to adjourn?
Okay, have a motion from Ryan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Second from Christine. All right. All those in favor of adjournment, say aye.
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 Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you much, everybody. We'll see you in a couple, 3 weeks.
Thank
You
you.
all.
Thank
Bye,
you.
thanks.
Good night.